This is Jason. He's a really confident dude who just wants to get somewhere in this crazy thing we call life. But at one point in time, he was far from that. Allow me to continue. The year was 2013. It was a Thursday, and the month was October. You'd think it'd be a little cold, but it was an unseasonably hot day. The person you see has hobbies such as playing video games and creating videos for the internet. He's mainly a Nintendo fan who loves Smash Bros, Mario Kart, and Animal Crossing. Jason, age 15, was walking home from what he thought was the worst day of his entire life. He had a lot of homework, but that was the least of his concerns. He's an average guy and tried to be nice to everyone he ever encountered. But somehow, some way, people tried to ruin him. They talked bad about him. They called him names. They took things that Jason said in videos online and twisted them around and mocked everything he ever mentioned. And to top that all off, they even posted pictures of him on the internet, every second of the day. At first, it made him really upset. But now, he doesn't really care anymore because he realized they were just insecure, sad people who just try to make someone else feel bad to make themselves feel better. With all those bad times in the back of his mind, he thought about everything surrounding his life on the way home. A half hour later, he arrived at his house. Hot and sweaty, he walked inside and found a few envelopes on the counter, checked the mail, and noticed that none was for him. Jason wasn't surprised that he didn't get mail. He then checked his email. In his mailbox, there was a new message. It turns out that the email he received was from Nintendo of America, Jason's favorite video game company of all time. Oh yeah, did I also mention the annoying people Jason dealt with for 2 years also called him a fanboy? So yeah, he loves Nintendo, but that didn't concern them. Jason was stunned to see he received an email from Nintendo themselves. The email read, "Jason Smith, is your body ready? This is Reggie Fils-Aimé, Nintendo of America's president. Last week, we asked our Twitter followers to use the hashtag #IWantToSmash to tell us at Nintendo who your favorite Smash Bros. Fighter is. As you probably know, the 4 winners of this contest get to compete in an online tournament in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and the winner gets featured on Nintendo's website, along with being given lots of Nintendo merchandise pertaining to the game. You were chosen among thousands of people to compete in this tournament. Please email us your information in case you're a winning contestant. Practice up and put your fighting skills to the test on January 7th, 2014. Good luck and congratulations." Jason was ecstatic. He called a few friends and told them the good news. And to his surprise, it turns out the other winners of the competition just so happened to be the 3 people that tried to torment him. Their names were Cornelius, Dalston, and Christoph. What were the chances that Jason's opponents were the people who tried to destroy him online? Once they found out about him being a competitor as well, they went on the internet and made his situation even worse. It's best not to mention that, but it really killed Jason's self-esteem. To get his mind off of them, he headed into his room where he began to practice at the game, for the competition that was taking place the following January. He chose Link to start out with. He wasn't doing well at all. He kept getting beat, time and time again. Same thing with Mario, and Ganondorf, and just about every other character. With not much else to choose from, Jason came to a realization. He needed to become the character, not just choose it. In need of learning to trudge through all the things that have been said about and to him, Jason went about himself, intensifying his ability to become the fighter that he always wanted to be. He did push-ups, but not that great. He tried running. He wasn't good at that either. But practice makes perfect. After a few weeks of training, Jason was a lean, mean fighting machine. It was then January 7th, the day of the tournament of his dreams. He got notice from Nintendo that it was time for the battle. Jason went to his room and started to prepare for the tournament of his dreams. An hour later, at 6 p.m., he turned on the Super Smash Bros. Game. Jason had reached his final destination. Unsure of who to choose for the tournament, he remembered his friend telling him to choose Kirby for the competition on the phone one time.
"Hey man, choose Kirby. Do it for the glory."
Following his friend's good judgment, he chose Kirby, hoping that he'd do good after his training. He began the fight with Cornelius and his friends. They all ganged up on Jason, but he learned to push through it all. He became the fighter. Days of battling later, Jason was declared the champion of the tournament, and all the damage that he received from them, it didn't result in a KO, but instead, it ended up to be him winning and rising above the pain. Later on, after the battle ended, Jason had moved on. He moved on from all the stress and sadness that the other guys gave him. He became much more content with himself, and thus, every bad memory he had from these people, it all went away. All those harsh things that were said to him by Cornelius, Dawson, and Kristoff, they made him a stronger person. They taught him to ignore people like that because what really mattered was that there were people in his life that gave him joy, encouragement, something to make him happy, which they had. Be happy with yourself. Life's too short to be anything but that. It turns out I can relate so well to this. That's because this was my story. All the things you just heard actually did happen to me and probably still do. This video is for any of you who have to deal with the pain of cyberbullying. It happened to me, and what's funny is that I learned a lot from the situation. I'm a lot happier now than I ever was while dealing with them. Their names have been slightly changed to protect them because I actually care. If you ever feel like the world is crashing down on you, there's always people in your life to pick you back up again, even if you don't think so. Don't let anyone control you and make you feel bad because you do what you love. You are you, and I want you to stay that way.